I had a whole set of leads that I got from FM, the truck drivers. That's where I get my leads from. There, and I'd get it from the one with the library. I forget the name right now. There's a whole stack I'd set up before. Allison helped me download them, so I have it downloaded already. So.
And are those leads working? Are you calling on those leads?
I call some of them.
Okay. So what's some?
Some of them, and then I was getting a lot of Spanish-speaking people, and I was like, okay, I really need to do this lead magnet.
I want to interrupt. The list that I helped her get was from USA, Reference USA for businesses. And I was showing her how to get some lists from there. That was from in the beginning though.
Is this do those leads have
they have numbers
or numbers?
And some of them have websites, so you can go on the website and even find out who decision makers are.
Okay. But is that information being used though?
Betty?
Not really. Not really.
So you're not so in other words, you're not stuck in any process. You really just not working is what you're not doing. You're just not doing stuff. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying that to beat you up. I'm asking you that because like I just gotta know. Like if it's one thing if you have an issue, it's one thing if you just make a decision that you're not. Like so if you don't have to answer some of these questions, you don't have to answer if you just don't want people to know, because obviously it's not just me listening. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you're not comfortable answering something, just let me know. I'm trying to figure out how to help. So where is your business coming from? If you're not making calls or doing it, like where are your business coming from? Like for your business, like where you getting business from if you're not making the calls, if you're not following up on the people, or if you're not making lead things?
I've right now I'm mainly doing real estate calls from a dial. Okay. Yeah, and I have some leads from other sources. So okay. Explaining the dialer. So, but I still need to do for the real estate for like private money and so on. So that's where I need to get the lead magnet for that.
Okay. And in the lead magnet stuff, again, this is not about it being CDLP or small business, or this has nothing to do with legal. It has to do with just doing business. So if you're spending most of your time doing real estate, that's fine. Are the leads that you're getting in real estate working for you? Like, are you getting leads in real estate some other way and they're working?
Not as much as I would like it to. I'm using the dialer, but the feedback is not as much as I was hoping.
Okay, so tell me what's
that's why I need the lead magnet to.
Which is my next question. So tell me, because I'm trying to figure out. Tell me if what you're doing is not working. Tell me what's preventing you from making the next step. Like why are you not doing whatever it is you feel like needs to be done next if what you're doing is not working? So if the leads aren't working, you're using a dollar and it's like not the right people, or the CDL leads.
So I change up some other location where I find leads.
Okay.
Yeah, so I add in towards it.
Okay, say that one more time.
I'm adding new leads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, different set of leads. I guess that batch was kind of like not the best of leads. So I have other sources I'm using right now too.
Gotcha. So do you not see the value in like, so tell me why you are wanting to look at this if you're going to still buy leads though? Like why are you buying leads instead of doing this? I guess there's a reason why you're not. I'm just trying to figure out your, like, because it seems like you kind of stuck, but you're not really telling me why you stuck. So you're buying leads, which is what we talked about, doesn't really work as well. And you're telling me that you're not creating these leads, and I'm trying to figure out why you're not creating. I mean, why are you not doing the lead
These
magnet?
are other leads. No, I have to create these for the CDL, and I have to create it still for like private money.
Right,
Yeah, so I still need to do it. I have to do it.
right.
You're not
But-
buying leads.
But I'm asking you why you're not. Why aren't you doing it? If you know you need to do it, like what's stopping you from doing it? When you get up tomorrow morning to do whatever you do, what's preventing you within your day on your calendar from you doing the things that you need to do to create the lead? There's got to be something stopping you. Like something is preventing you from doing it.
Hmm. Probably procrastination. I know I have to do it.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna tell on you. I'm gonna tell on you. It's priorities. It's
priorities. What you mean?
She's doing other things, and the lead magnet part has not been a superior priority to get done.
But out of the other things that you're doing, Betty, is it making? Are you making money with it?
Not as yet.
Okay. Do you see like where it's gonna make money? Because I mean, at the end of the day, if you're exchanging one activity for another, and the activity is creating income for your business, then you create income for your business. So that all makes sense. So that's why I'm asking you these questions, because if you're not doing the lead magnets, and what you're doing in place of that time is not making you money either, why would you not be doing the lead magnets? Why would you prioritize something over something that's going to make money to do something that's not going to make money? It's got to be a reason why you would be doing it.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so that's something that you probably need to like just think about, like within your own, like like in your own space when you're doing your, I don't know, meditation or thinking, or you know what I mean, like a deep thought, or everybody got their space that they do their thinking in, because until you make a decision that you want to do something different, it doesn't matter how many times you hear you're not going to do it. Like you gotta make a decision in your mind that you want to do something different for whatever reason. That's why I was asking you those questions, because if after, and that's just for everybody, this is not for Betty. If you've been listening to me talk about lead magnets since November and you're still not making lead magnets, there is something preventing you from making
Since
lead
November, I
magnets.
started doing it.
Huh?
Not since November. Probably about March or somewhere there.
Okay, so you've been with, so I started the program in November. So I know some people have been with me that long. Now you may have just started in March. So for you, it's only been, I guess, 2 months. It's literally been 60 days or so, which is not that long. 60 days is not that long. But I know there's some people on the line that's been doing, and actually it may have been before November, but regardless, it's the end of last year. So, it's still, we're in the 5th month now, ending the 5th month, which means a lot of people here have been doing this for at least 6 months. And some of you all still haven't made one lead magnet after 6 months. So I'm trying to figure out like if you call yourself doing business, your business has got to be coming from somewhere. If you don't got business coming from somewhere, then you're not in business. Like you're not doing business. Like you can say that I'll have a business, but if there's no business being done, then you don't have a business. So whether you buying leads, whether people are just walking in the front door because you got paid advertising, like your prospects got to be coming from somewhere. Making leads is not the only way to get leads. I mean, you can pay for marketing, radio ads. It's 1,000 different ways. It depends on what you do for a living. But that's why I always ask that question: where are your leads coming from right now? Because
from a software.
Go ahead.
From a software that I have.
A software that you have?
Mm-hmm.
Got you. So you have a software that's giving you leads, which makes sense. So in other words, the answer to my question is you're not making leads because you're getting leads from somewhere else anyway. So it's not a priority because you have leads coming from somewhere else, which makes sense. So that's why I was asking, because there's got to be a reason, because I know there's not people just sitting around doing nothing and not doing leads either, because you can't possibly be surviving as an adult with no income coming into your business.
Mm.
You see what I mean? So it's got to be something that's happening. So like you said, you got software. Like I know, like realtors, a lot of realtors, they have software that generates leads for them, and they got different lead systems that they buy into when they're in that kind of sales. Insurance agents do as well, financial people as well. So I know that there's other systems that you could be using. So that's why I ask you those questions, because a lot of times you're not going to do specific things if something else is already in place.
Mhm.
So you have to
I
ask,
still need to do,
huh?
but I still need to do it for like my private money and for the CDLP. Yeah, that's why I have to do it.
Gotcha. All right. Who else we got on here? Let me pull these names up. Because you was the first name on the list. That's why I called on you first. So the next name on the list is Allison.
I was gonna volunteer. I was gonna volunteer.
Oh, well, now you've been volunteered. So you know how to volunteer.
All right.
So what's your status? Talk to me.
I have done a couple and put them out there. I did some on Facebook, and I did a couple on Craigslist, and I actually had some interaction. People reached out to me, and I had conversation.
Okay. All right. So
I haven't done like a PDL one yet, so that's my next challenge.
what you mean a PDL?
You know how you go get the article and then
PLR you mean? Okay, yeah. I see what you said. Okay, I didn't know whether you meant PDF or PLR. So you're talking about PLR. So you haven't done the PLR one yet. So the one that you have done, what kind did you do?
I just went on Canvas and was creative and just put my information. Well, it was those were real estate, but yeah, those was real estate. I have a house under contract, and so I was trying to, attract leads for buyers. And matter of fact, we had some activity from that. Several people went to go look at the house.
Okay. And are your lead magnets getting their contact information into a database for you?
Oh, no, I didn't know, because I don't think at that time of creating it, we didn't know how to put together the what I'm trying to say, the two platforms, Canvas and PayHip.
Okay.
Yeah, and not, yeah. So that's also the next step from creating like a post to connecting the two. That's the next step where I'm about. You understand what I'm saying?
Somewhat, not totally, but somewhat.
Okay, say for instance, I already created the Canva.
Okay.
Okay, and so from that, I got to put it in PayHip. I'm correct, and then
yes.
put in the questions.
Put it in Canva, and then once you put it in, once you download it from Canva, upload it into PayHip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay, so is there something specific that stopped you from doing that? Like,
well, no, no. What stopped me was I didn't know what to do. But I have gone and reviewed the videos to do the next step.
Okay. All right.
Uploading.
Okay. All right. And so the activity that you created with the lead magnets that you made originally, like, what did you use them for? Like, so when you say you created some kind of activity, what did you do?
Facebook's in different groups, and I actually created an ad on Craigslist in different communities.
Okay, so
I used it as an image. I used it as an image in the Craigslist, but it still have information in there for the people to reach out to me.
Okay, so I want everybody to kind of put this in their notes that's taking notes. so that you don't not, and when I say misuse, not that you using it this way is wrong, but you're not getting the full effect out of it, right?
Right, I know.
Yeah, you're using it as a marketing piece, and the idea is not to use it to market. The idea is to use it to capture information so that you can market to them via email.
Right, right.
Right. So that's the objective. So when we stop and then put this stuff online, it's really incomplete because now you're doing what everybody else is doing, which is that's just like putting a flyer online and saying, hey, I got some business from my flyer. Right. You're gonna get some business from the flyer without a doubt. If it's a good flyer and you know you got something that you're selling, a service, a product, or whatever, you're gonna get some business from it. I'm not saying you're not. But the idea is to use that to pull them off of social media so that you can sell to them at home, in their office, or wherever, not to sell to them there.
Right.
Yeah. So doing it on Canva and putting it on there it can be considered a lead magnet because some companies still call it a lead magnet. But really, all you did was create a marketing piece. You just used Canva to make a marketing piece to show a house or sell a house or whatever you was doing.
I did it that way because I didn't have all the information on how to do everything. So, you know, as you was teaching us, and we was back in Canva, I was doing it and created a Canva. So I really didn't know what else, how to get to the next part. And you hadn't taught on it yet. So I just used it. I used it how I know how to use it.
Gotcha.
But I understand the concept of bringing value and educating and not selling. I do understand that.
Gotcha. No doubt. All right, so I just wanted to make sure so that you understood where you was at and just kind of see where you was at on everything to find out. But it seems like you know your next steps. It seems like you know that you need to get it in the system. And I mean, ideally, you guys want to create and what I would hate to happen is for something to happen to your source of leads and you not have any way to get any new clients.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want to happen. And this is really big for the social media people who lead their people on social media. Right? The people who are doing lives and they're making money by doing lives, but they're not getting the people's information and putting them in a newsletter list or an email list or putting them somewhere where they can say, okay, you are now a group of people who follow me, buy from me, whatever. You've got to create that. You have to have a place to go fishing. That's just what it is. If you don't have a place to grocery shop, then you don't eat at home. And that's pretty much what you're doing with lead magnets. That's why we create them that way. So, all right. So just want to see where you was at. So who's next on the list? Flora.
Yes, I couldn't wait for you to call me, Mr. Bernard. I'm even putting myself on camera.
There we go. Come on. Let me pin you.
Oh my God.
Here. Let me ping you. Let me ping you to this screen real quick. There we go.
I missed last week, and I feel like I am just all over the place. I'm not getting results that I want. Today I did the small business training. I got on calls. I contacted a few small business owners. I buy leads. I call the people. It's like, I'm not getting anywhere. People just seeing, or they say they come into the Zoom, they don't show up. I haven't made the lead magnet like you've been talking about and going to all these different sites and creating it. So and then I'm trying to do everything, yet I'm doing nothing. And I feel stuck. Today I was like really down. Even if I was doing, but I wasn't feeling like I was. I tried to contact my associates and other people and try to call other people again, because like they said, it takes like 6 or 7 contacts before someone can make a decision. So that's what I've been working on. I still keep calling and sending videos and stuff. But like today, I'm like, oh my God, it's like I haven't moved. I started the year very well, excited. I felt things was moving, and now I just feel like so much. I'm doing training here, I'm listening to videos there, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and yet. So I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to scream. So here I am. I'm all open.
So one, you have to cut back on the stuff you're listening to. Because it's just it's addictive consumption of information, and it's like you feel good because you're listening to some more training, but you're not doing any work, which is not going to be helpful because you're not even going to use that information right now. So it's information overload. So it's like, even like me personally, when I'm doing stuff, if I'm working on a project, I'm not listening to anything but the stuff on that project. I won't listen to anything else. So if I'm putting together a training on organizing your office and decluttering your office so that you can efficiently do business, I'm not going to listen to anything about anything else as far as training or videos or anything, unless it's about that, until I finish that training. Why? Because I want my brain to concentrate on material for that particular training. So if you're saying, okay, I need to get more leads so I can make more sales, right? Listening to, and this is no disrespect to no trainer that you listen to, because it's not about the training not good. It's about don't consume too much at one time, right?
Right.
That's what it's about. So let's take Melissa Wilder, because I know she does a small business training.
Right. Well,
if you are trying to figure out how to get leads, right? If you're trying to figure out how to get leads, and you're saying right now I need to concentrate on how to get leads, it doesn't make a lot of sense to listen to a Melissa Wilder training on how to sell a small business plan.
No, because Melissa, it was the Small Business Solution. They have training every Tuesday.
Got you. And it doesn't matter what it is. I'm just using that for an example. No. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's not about you getting leads,
right,
you probably shouldn't be listening to it, because you can listen to that at another time when you're at that point, right? Where you're at that point in your business where you're saying, okay, now I got leads coming in. Now I need to work on my sales, because I'm talking to 10 people and I'm not closing one. See, now you're at another step. Now the step you're at is I've got leads coming in, but my closing ratio is low. So now what should you be listening to? You should be listening to information on how to close better. And the problem is we listen to the whole process because we know we need to hear it. We know we need to know it. And that makes sense. That's a common sense thing. But in all actuality, your brain needs to compartmentalize. So you have to take in certain information at a certain time. And because it makes it clear. Now, is it impossible to do it the way you're doing it? It's not impossible, but it's again, don't work yourself to death for no reason.
Right.
That's why I will not listen to other stuff. Not because the other stuff out here is not important, but if I'm working on this, I only need information on this, because I'm confusing my brain. And my brain is saying,
how I feel.
Yeah. So the reason why I break the trainings up into modules. So like the training we did this weekend, people are like, hey, send me the replay. We sent the replay out for the people who took the training. And they're going to hear it, and it's going to still be helpful to them. But you know what's going to be more helpful to them? When my editing team breaks it up into modules. That way, if you're saying, right now, all I want to concentrate on is create my Instagram profile so I can go get it on Instagram to start building some social media marketing.
Right.
You cannot listen to all the other 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 trainings. It's not that the information wasn't good, but right now I'm trying to create my Instagram profile. And I cannot be trying to do that while I'm listening to Harold Branch talk about mindset, and hear Sharon Larry talk about CRMs, and hear Robert Dunbar talk about Gmail, right? And here it's all of that stuff is good information, but it's bad timing.
Right.
It's bad time, and that's why whatever it is that's why I categorize everything on YouTube. So if I'm saying, okay, I need to clean out my Gmail inbox,
right,
I'm going to start pulling videos on that on YouTube, and as I watch them, I'm going to put them in a playlist for just that topic, and I'm going to keep looking at those videos on that subject until I'm done with that project,
right,
and then I will go to the next subject. So what we have to understand is, let the system work the way that it needs. Let your system and your brain work. Like work with your brain. Like you got to work with your brain, and sometimes that's a little bit tougher for women. Not because you guys are at a different intelligence level, because studies say women are more intelligent than men, but women multitask.
Yeah.
And what happens is you're spreading your brain so thin that it's not working at an optimum level on what you're working on, because you got 6 other, right? It's like your computer. When you open up 10 windows, it moves slower. That's the same thing our brain does. When you're working on 10 projects, your brain moves slow. As soon as you take those, you got 10 windows open, when you close 8 of them and you work in 2, everything moves faster. Why? Because your computer can now concentrate on making sure those 2 windows are running at the speed it should, because it's not trying to juggle 8 other windows that you're not even going to be on for another hour.
Right.
So it's the same thing in your mind. If you're saying step 1 in your lead magnet, let's say you're saying, okay, I want to do a lead magnet. I want to create a lead magnet. So what are you going to do first? The first thing you're going to do is, what do I want to make a lead magnet for in the first place? What am I making it for? It's like Betty Sylvester. She was like, okay, CDL, real estate. Well, you can make it for both, but I still would suggest do one at a time. So she may say, I got some stuff coming in real estate anyway because I got a system. CDL though, I don't. So let me start making CDL ones first, because I am getting some leads in my real estate world that are decent leads, right? Hypothetically speaking. Now she knows she has to do what? Look for what she wants to make the lead magnet stand for in CDL. So how do you do that? You need material that CDL people will listen to. So the first thing I would do is go online and say, right, the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes, set your timer for 25 minutes, and spend 25 minutes going online looking for information on CDL that will be interesting to CDL drivers. If you spent 25 minutes doing that, now you got some material, whether you look up PLR or just look up general CDL articles, whichever way you chose to do it. You do that, now boom, project done. I've got material that I can talk about. Now you're gonna make the decision, do I want somebody from Fiverr to make this for me? Or do I want to go over here and fumble around with Canva myself? If you decide you want somebody on Fiverr to make it for you, then you're going to simply do the same thing again. Okay, let me set my timer for 20, because Pomodoro technique is 25 minutes at a time. Let me set my timer on my phone for 25 minutes, go to Fiverr and find somebody. When the 25 minutes is up, if you haven't found somebody yet, take your 5-minute break and then do another 25 minute setup and keep looking on Fiverr, see if you can find somebody. It shouldn't take you more than an hour to locate somebody on Fiverr that's willing to do a lead magnet. Right? And if you're saying, well, I don't really know how to do that, guess what? Go to the training and pull up the training that talks about going on Fiverr and finding somebody, right? Because it's okay that you don't know how to do it. Then you go through the training and you figure out how to do it. You have to compartmentalize, because when you wake up in the morning and say, this is what I need to do today, and you start trying to list everything, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta wash some clothes, I gotta run a couple of errands, or I gotta send this thing in the mail, I gotta try to make these leads. 10 minutes into that, you're overwhelmed. You just got up and you just overwhelmed yourself because you're trying to remember your whole day instead of just having it somewhere where you can look at it and compartmentalize everything. Instead of getting up and saying, oh, I don't even gotta think about what I gotta do today because it's on my calendar. Let me just go to my calendar and then everything is gonna be there that I have to do, events, tasks, whatever. And if one of the things that you're doing today is you're on the 3rd step of creating your lead magnet, which for you could be, I'm trying to find somebody on Fiverr to do it. Well, how much time are you going to do that today? Are you giving yourself an hour to do that? If you are, then you're going to do 25-minute Pomodoro, 5-minute break, 25-minute Pomodoro, 5-minute break. That's an hour. You just did 50 minutes of looking on Fiverr and 10 minutes in breaks. If that hour is up and you still haven't found somebody, that's okay. You move on to the next thing on your calendar because it might take you longer than an hour to find somebody on Fiverr. You see what I mean? But you're still going through that process. And if you find somebody, you're good. If you don't find somebody, then you put it on your calendar for the next day to spend another hour doing it and repeat the same thing. But you got to clean out, like, in order for you to take steps, you got to be able to concentrate on that. Think about your kids, your grandkids, any kids in your family that you're around that you watch, like when you were of age enough to pay attention to the baby. You see how kids concentrate when they're taking their steps?
One step at a time.
One step at a time, like they balancing one step at a time. They looking at what they doing. They looking at you to see what kind of face you making, to see whether or not to see whether or not they can tell on your face that they think they're doing a good job or a bad job. They're completely consumed with the art of trying to walk. They're taking steps. They're concentrating on the steps. You got to do the same exact thing when you build your business. You got to compartmentalize that way, and you have to make sure when you compartmentalize that you are particularly focusing on that activity that you need to focus on. That's what you're gonna have to do. And you got to have it in your calendar to do it, and then take those steps, because when you can see it and you can say, okay, Fiverr today, right? Pay hip tomorrow. And even if you say, okay, I got a 30-minute study period, 25-minute study period on my calendar, and that 25-minute study period is, let me look at how to do pay hip before I start trying to do it myself. Let me look at the video for 25 minutes, watch the video, take some notes, take a 5-minute break, take your next 25-minute time set clock, and try to do what you saw in the video. You got to take those steps and do it one thing at a time, because creating a lead magnet is not going to be, okay, I'm going to get up one day and just do it all in one day. No, I didn't. When I learned how to do lead magnets, I didn't do it all in one day. It was a process. I can do it all in one day now because I've been doing it long enough. But in the beginning, I didn't even know what to do next. I mean, you got a video. I didn't even have a video. I was literally coming up with the idea. So I was fumbling around with the stuff to figure it out, and then doing it as I figured it out. So you've got somewhat of a roadmap, so you can at least block time to do it. Don't worry about whether in that amount of time you get it done. That's not what's important. What's important is you block time off to do something in that space, and whatever you get done is what you got done. That's all you can get done, is what you can get done. Like, this is not about a race. It's about being able to say, okay, I did this today with that lead magnet. I spent some time looking on Fiverr to find somebody to make my lead magnet. And then when you finally find somebody, you're good to go. It's like marriage or anything else. Somebody might tell you that if you ain't married by 35, you're crazy. Well, what if I didn't find a person at 35? What if I haven't found the person I want to marry? If you haven't found that person, some people find them at 19, some people find them at 29, some people 39. Some people don't look until they're 35 because they're busy with their career. They go into school, they get themselves together. Everybody's different. So there's no clock on how fast you do it. But if you don't block time on your calendar to do it, you're not going to ever do it. It's going to be overwhelming because you don't break it down to steps. So you got to break it down to steps and do one step at a time. And then you'll be like, okay, I got it. Right? I got it. It's like building a car. You go into a car plant, nobody's building the whole car. Mm-hmm. Every area of the factory is building a different part of the car. And then at some point, those parts get put together by a whole other person or machine, right? So the people making the engine, that's all they're doing. They're not making tires. They're not making hubcaps. They're not making axles. When they come to work for that 8-hour shift, all they are doing is concentrating on the engine. That is their only job, right? And when the engine is done, they start on another engine. And that engine goes to wherever it goes next for somebody to do something else too. That's the same way you have to run what you're doing here. Whatever you're doing, right now, I'm concentrating on finding somebody from Fiverr. Or I'm making the lead magnet myself. So I am going to spend the next however long it takes, an hour a day for however long it takes to understand Canva well enough to make my own lead magnet, if that's the decision that you make. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so you don't overwhelm yourself with that. Don't think you gotta have it done in one day.
Oh my God, I even had to take a nap today because I remembered you when you said at least take 20 minutes nap. So I had to go, and I'm not a napper. I don't take naps no matter how sleepy I am. Once I'm up today. I had to go lay down. I set my alarm and I went to sleep. I was like, and I didn't even sleep. I think I took cat naps in between. I never really fell asleep, but it felt so much better when I woke up.
Yeah, don't be scared of naps. Like, I mean, I'm like serious. Like, do not, don't be scared of naps. I mean, scientists, medical people will tell you
I'm missing
they work very well. Yeah, I would encourage you to be a nap taker. I encourage people to take naps. Like, don't even worry about being like, oh yeah, but I'm not sleepy. No, 8 hours after you got up in the morning, somewhere between 6 and 9 hours from the time you woke up, somewhere in that 6 to 9 hour range, you should be taking a 25-minute nap. You got to give yourself that refresh, that break, and then you think better, right? You move better, you clear your conscience, your body needs a break, your brain needs a break. You know what I mean? Because your brain is thinking when you don't take a nap, I got to do this all day long for 12 hours. And then I got to do it all day long again and out for 12 hours. Like your brain needs the break. You know what I mean? Sometimes even when you don't know, it's like hydration. People are like, I'm not thirsty. Well, it doesn't matter whether you're thirsty or not. Your body needs water whether you're thirsty or not. Being thirsty is not the only sign. You have to drink X amount of water every day to stay hydrated, even if you're not thirsty. Right? So it's like certain things you have to give yourself, right? You ever see somebody say, I don't want to eat that much, I'm not hungry. Your body needs a certain amount of nutrients, whether you're hungry or not. So you have to put in a certain amount of nutrients because your body has to survive and it needs things to survive. And it doesn't matter whether you're hungry. Hungry is a symptom of you not eating, but just because you're not hungry don't mean your body doesn't need to have certain things in it. So, you know what I mean? Just keep that in mind. A nap, figure that out where you can do a nap on a daily basis and you'll realize that there's going to be a lot of clarity in your headspace and your mind and everything else when you do that. Naps are proven to be very beneficial to body, mind, and your length of life. Yeah, so take that nap. Take that nap. Good stuff. All right, so good. I'm glad I was able to help. I think I was able to help. I think I was able to help.
Yes, sir. I couldn't wait to come on tonight. I was like, Mr. Tom, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what I'm going with. I'm doing all this thing yet getting no results. I'm like, ugh.
Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Jackie, what's going on with you, Jackie?
You probably hit the nail on the head telling all of those things, that you were saying. It makes sense. But it's like I try to organize. I said, okay, I wrote down like about 27 things that I have to do. Mm-hmm. And okay, I got which ones could I eliminate? It's hard for me to try to figure out how to eliminate these things. So then I try to fit them into my calendar, to get them done. And sometimes, a lot of times it doesn't all get done. But, just trying to keep up with the calendar, doing what I do. Now with these lead magnets, it's like somebody saying, I look at it like somebody say, okay, I'm gonna go to work 9 to 5 because I know I'm gonna get that paycheck, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I was doing, buying leads, okay? Instead of taking the time to do what I need to do is where I've got this training and go in here, but see, it's me catching up. It's hard for me to catch up because I got so many things going on. So I need to go back, look at the training, so I'll know how to set these lead magnets up. That's the purpose of me getting this, because I don't want to buy leads anymore. But meanwhile, I'm still buying leads because I still need to work my business. I still need to get them from somewhere, and I still need to, make my quotas. So I'm buying leads, and not taking the time to go in. That's something else that I could put on my schedule. It's like, okay, you got to do this to catch up. I got a catch up on my schedule, but that's putting in this and putting in that. Just like we were in the BAPS training, I could not miss that training, but then I had to miss Saturday and Sunday, the major days. So that means I have to go back and look at all of that because, my son was having his grand opening. It's only one grand opening that you have. I didn't want to miss that. So, traveled to Chicago. I'd been to Nashville twice. And so it's just catching up with things. And I really, want to get this lead magnet so that it's like you walk us step by step. This is what you do, this, and you know me. If I don't do it right then, I forget about it. I can't, you be like, you got to write it down. You got to put it in a place. That's me, organizing that space to put it in so I can go back and look at it. I'm, you know, even trying to get on the call on the Zoom tonight. I said, "Oh, wait a minute, where's the link for this Zoom? I can't think about, can't find the link, you know." So I just got to get better at that. That's my biggest problem, is organizing things. Like you're showing me how to put things into folders and different things like that. So I know where to find it at. Yeah.
Okay. So the challenge it sounds like you're having is, one, it's just being unorganized, which is most people's problem, and having too much on your plate. And that all starts with setting the goal to get the thing done, right? So this weekend, somebody mentioned to me that they had too many goals. And it wasn't that they had too many goals. They're just trying to accomplish too many goals at the same time. So the Warren Buffett technique is write down your 10 top goals. And you write those 10 top goals down. And then you say, okay, out of those 10 goals, what are the 5 most important out of those 10? Then you choose the 5 that's the most important of those 10. You take the other 5 and you put them to the side. You can't work on those right now.
Okay. Makes sense.
It's impossible. You cannot work on but so much stuff. And most of us on this line, we know that because you're in a place because you're trying to do that right now. You got too much you're trying to work on. So you got to take those 5 and say, okay, I'm gonna now take these goals and push them to out 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, however long it's gonna take. Because you can now complete the 5 that you have when you take the other 5 and push them out and say, I'm not even gonna work on these now. Right? Now you have the time to work on the 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the challenge is. So once you say these are my 5 goals and you do a SMART goal sheet, let's say one of your goals is lead magnets.
Okay.
If one of your goals is I got to create my lead magnets out of your 5 goals, you're going to create a SMART goal sheet. The SMART goal sheet is going to have you create an action plan. The action plan is going to have you create a potential obstacle and solution sheet. Now that you've got that done, you go into your calendar and saying, now, this is what I need to do to complete this goal. Let me put these things on my calendar. I'm gonna block an hour off today to do this. Now we're where we were at with Flora, right? Now you're putting these things on your calendar and saying, okay, I'm going to do this today, this tomorrow, this. You've got to prioritize what you're going to do, and some of the other stuff is going to have to wait because. Like, you're no different than nobody else. So when you're saying, I got all this stuff you got to do, well, so do I. Well, guess what? Guess where the ring earners are at right now?
Mexico.
They're in Mexico. I'm not in Mexico.
Mexico.
I'm a ring earner. I'm a 100K ring earner in TNB. I'm not in Mexico. Why? Because I could not be in Mexico and do the other stuff that I needed to do.
Right.
Right? Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have went to your son's grand opening. I'm not saying somebody else on here shouldn't go to their family reunion. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is what I had to do was more important than me going to Mexico. Mm-hmm. If you going to your son's grand opening was more important than something else, that's fine. Put that on your calendar and prioritize it, because what we did this weekend was recorded, so you can still get that. You didn't miss that information because it's recorded.
Right. And I knew that. But see, that's the thing. It's harder for me to catch up on recordings, going back, replays, than if I'm right there, sitting there, doing it, taking my notes, being able to ask questions. The replays, they start overwhelming me with too many replays, a replay of this, a replay of that. And like, okay, I live in the country, right? Uh-huh. I have land. I cut my grass. I got do my garden. So all of those things, and weather it plays a part. So I got to stop to do this because it's gonna rain the next 3 days, and if I won't be able to do this, I got to do this first. So I ain't gonna be doing it because I got to go in there and put this garden in now, and then I got to go back. And that's how it plays out in my life most of the time, where a lot of things I do now. I pay people to do a lot of stuff. But it's certain things that, that I do myself. It's just like, I don't know, I guess that's that thing, women in me or whatever, where, you feel like if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, but that's a mentality that you got to stop, because all you're doing is worrying. The fact of the matter is you might do it better than somebody else. That don't mean somebody else can't do it.
Right.
You see what I mean? That's like somebody that's got a babysitter or a nanny and they go to work every day. The nanny is not going to take care of your child better than you. Obviously, we know that a nanny is not going to care more about your child than you do. But we have to do that because in order for you to go to work and make it and create a living for yourself, that somebody has to babysit the child, right? So look at it in that aspect. That is something that no matter who watches your child, chances are they're not going to do a better job than you. But you have to turn that duty over because you have to go to work. It's the same thing with some of the other stuff you're doing. First of all, you shouldn't be cutting your own grass. I don't care what the scenario is. Because I know that you make money. So you have the money to have somebody cut your grass. So those are things that you should be doing. Now, if you're doing gardening because it's therapeutic, yes, you should be doing your own rose garden if that's the way for you to get out and mentally get that space. You're right. If it's therapeutic for you, then continue to do that because you need that therapy. Mm-hmm. If you're doing the garden because the garden needs to be done, you need to be paying somebody to do that. Because you've got more than one business when and you have a career as a nurse. So you can't run two businesses being a nurse and be cutting your own grass. Right. Like that's just not a good use of your time. So you got to delegate some things that you're not doing so that you can make time for the things you need to be doing. You're never going to find time to make a lead magnet if you've got those kind of things in place at that time. You got to schedule that stuff out so it's not overwhelming. So when you're saying, hey, I'm overwhelmed with the lead magnet thing because I got to go, we're listening to the replays, it's only overwhelming because you're not organizing it. If you said, okay, I'm not going to be on batch Saturday in the 6 hours. Right? That 6 hour time frame, I'm not going to see any of it because I'm going to be traveling and going to my son's grand opening. Well, what you should have done was put it in your calendar to do an hour a day of replays for the next 6 days. When I get back and I get back in my headspace and I'm back at my office, even if it was a week later, every day I'm going to spend an hour going over an hour of the recording and just block off 1 hour. Now, a week after you've been doing that, you've gotten that whole full day over 6 days. Mm-hmm. And then say the Sunday, I'm missing 6 days too. And then you do it. You don't have to consume it all at one time. It's probably better that you don't. Right. So it's not about you taking the whole conference and hearing it in 2 days. We do it in 4 days because obviously people don't want to be in a conference for 2 weeks. You see what I mean? But we break it up in modules because now it's bite size. That's all bite size now at this point. Mm-hmm. So everything you're doing, lead magnets, listening to replays, making the phone calls on leads you're buying. Like you said, you're already buying leads. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to stop buying leads while you're making lead magnets. Sometimes you have to wean yourself off, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to keep buying leads, but I'm also going to start making lead magnets. And as these lead magnets start giving me emails, I'm going to cut down on how many leads I buy because now I'm getting leads from the lead magnets as well. Mm-hmm. So you have to wean yourself off while you're building the other one. It's like having a full-time job and saying, oh, I'm in network marketing. I just started a business. If you start that business and you have a full-time job, well, you don't quit your job when you start the business. Right. You start the business and you let it make money and you keep your job. And you may go to your job and say, hey, look, can I knock down from 40 hours to 30? And I don't know whether you can do this or not. I'm just hypothetically. I'm gonna knock down from 40 hours a week to 30 hours a week. And you run your business and add an extra 10 hours to your business and make some more money in your business. And then eventually you knock down to I'm working my full-time job is now a part-time job, and now I'm spending most of my time doing what I love with my business. You have to wean yourself off one thing while you're getting on another. Like you don't just do cold turkey. Some people can do that, but you don't have to do that. So your situation seems to be on your lead magnet stuff seems to be you got so much stuff going on, you can't get to it on your list. But if you put it on your calendar and take some of the things off that you like, take some of that stuff off and say, okay, all these things are associated with this one thing that I'm putting out for 90 days. I'm not even working on this no more for the next 90 days because I don't need to work on this right now. When you empty all those things out and push them out to a future goal, and then say, this is what I'm working on now. Now you've got your headspace there, and now you can fit those things in your calendar. And some of those house things you're doing, like real life things, you have to get rid of some of that stuff. you gotta pay somebody to do it. Like I don't do any household stuff at all. Like I just don't. Like somebody cleans the house unless like sometimes I will do it myself for a particular reason, but generally speaking, the house gets cleaned by somebody that cleans the house. Now my son here, obviously my 15-year-old son is the housekeeper now because he's 15 and that's him like contributing to the household. So he vacuums, he washes the dishes, you know what I mean? He washes the general, like, you know, the towels and bath towels and washcloths and all that kind of stuff. And then his clothes and I wash my own clothes. So you got to figure out a way to limit what you are responsible for doing so that you can make time for other things that need to be done.
You're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. And I mean, that it all really does make sense. And, you know, it's like things that they say, give up. I mean, you know, it's not because I have to. I mean, you know, yeah, I used to pay people to cut the grass and I tell them, you know, this is how I want this done, this and that and other. And then, but that's something that I enjoy too, especially, you know, I enjoy just being out there. It's like a time that I have that when I'm cutting the grass that I'm out there and I'm not getting no phone calls or nothing like that. And I'm just talking to God and just enjoying life. So I enjoy cutting the grass. It don't take that long to cut. Well, it takes I got a lot of grass cut, but still in all, you know, it's just that you know, you're right. I'm trying to eliminate these things and then prioritize it because I need to get those lead magnets done because I want to stop buying leads, period. So I am going to set that up. And I didn't think about it till you said that about, because I feel like I had to sit 5 hours to watch, to go to the replay. I didn't think about taking an hour a day like that. I just didn't even think about it. I said, okay, I got to sit up here and I'm going to put this 6 hours in here. And so I could put this in this time of the day. And, or I can't put it on that day because I got such and such to do. So yeah, I'm going to do
Do it that way, compartmentalize. If cutting the grass is again something, if that's a meditation, if that's breaking, that's therapeutic for you, then label it that. But the question is, how much therapy are you doing in your calendar? You see what I mean? Like you have to compartmentalize and put a time frame on that too. Because some people would like to just walk and think all day long. Well, guess what? You'll be broke. You can't walk and think all day long because you got bills to pay. So my object is there is, if that's therapy for you, that's fine. Cut the grass if that is a freedom for you. But you still have to put that on your calendar and know that you can't be doing so much of it because you can't be in la la land meditating half the day because you got to get work done. You see what I mean? So all I'm saying is if cutting grass is therapy, then you still have to put that on your calendar and label it so. And know that you can only do so much of it because there's other things that have to be on your calendar as well. So it's still all in organizing those things on your calendar. So if you're going to do lead magnets, then you got to look at that training and say, okay, this is X amount of hours of training. Okay, I'm only going to do this many minutes a day. Block that time off, do that amount of time, take the notes for it. When you finish, take your 5-minute break, your 10-minute break, and then work on your next project. And if you do everything compartmentalized like that, you will get a lot accomplished as opposed to you just doing things without a limit. You get up in the morning, you start working on something, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're like, okay, I've been doing this all day, I'm kind of burnt out. Let me take a break, let me work on something. But there's no system to it. Mm-hmm. It's no system. And then at the end of the day, you feel like you got some things done because you did get some things done. But it's not even in an organized fashion where you can say, okay, I accomplished this, I marked these things off my list, because it's just a bunch of stuff you doing.
Well, you know, I have learned from you with the calendar. I mean, you know, that calendar is key, and it has really, 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 really helped me. It's just that I have got to move some of these things off that just, you know, it's like me, you know, I found out my kids came to help me do some stuff, and I said, you know what, I'm a hoarder. I hoard papers. I hoard this. And they was like, Mom, throw this away. You know, no, I don't touch that because I'm going to use that. And I probably could. And I said, I got to stop this stuff. So, you know, so it's like that. It's the same thing with all of these things. I got to let them go. It's like, I feel like, oh, all this got to be done. And I'm the one that's got to be doing it. And, you know, I'm a 1-8. Okay. So you think about that. You know what a 1-8 is.
I do. I
Yeah,
do.
and it's that perfectionist gotta have it. Everything got to be so, and you want it done just this way and that way, and oh my gosh, it's hard on the man and the body too. I tell you.
It is. Well, I mean, it's one of those things that's I understand that's your personality, but you got to make a change if you want, because it's nothing's going to be different for you. A perfectionist is a perfectionist. You got to turn that stuff over. The same thing with all of that paperwork that you wrote. You got to have somebody else come in your office and throw that stuff away because you're not going to do it.
Right.
It's like when your kid's bedroom has got so many toys in it that the room just junky no matter how you straighten it out. You can't clean those toys up and put them in storage. Not while the kid at home you can't, because they're not gonna want you to put any of those toys in storage.
Right.
But if they come home and their room is cleaned up and some of their toys are gone, first of all, some of the stuff that's missing, they're not even gonna realize it's missing.
Right.
And the other stuff, they're gonna say, okay, this is what's left. They might cry for a minute, but then they're gonna play with what's there and know that that's what's there, and the other stuff is gonna be in storage. But it's gonna be difficult to do that if they're at home. You can't have somebody cleaning your office while you're standing in it if you're a hoarder, but you're gonna tell them not to throw it away.
I know.
You gotta walk out the room and be like, okay, guys, the stuff that's really the real important stuff, meaning that these are paper applications that I have to keep for at least 3 years or whatever. You put that stuff in a box, like stuff that you legally have to keep around. You got to legally keep your receipts for a certain amount of time. That kind of stuff, you throw in the box, you put the top on it, you stack it up and say, okay, that's the legal. I just followed the legal ramifications. And then the rest of this stuff, let them throw it out. Let them shred it. And if you're not watching them do it, when you come back in your office and it's gone, you're not even going to remember what it was.
Yeah, it happened, and they did good. I mean, so that's what I said. I know now, because I had to, admit, like an alcoholic had to say, I am an alcoholic. If you're not gonna get no help. So I said, I am a hoarder, and I have got to stop this. So it really did help. But I got to jump off and get on my master me craft.
We closing out. It's 9:07, so we run from 8 to 9. So I didn't get to everybody.
I appreciate that, because I really needed that. Robert, I'm gonna listen back to this one again for real.
Yeah. Well, make sure you put it on your calendar so it'll be next month when you listen to it.
Right. Right.
All right. So next week I'll get some people that I didn't get this week. Obviously, I know I didn't get Jim. I didn't get Stephanie. And there's a couple people that dropped off already who I didn't get. So I'll work on some more people next week. But we got to figure out what's preventing us from doing these lead magnets so that you can start working on them, so that you can, have some consistent leads available to yourself for the days that you make a phone call. So hopefully this is helpful even to the people that I wasn't talking directly to them. You may have some of these challenges, and if that's the case, hopefully this helps you with that. So if anybody has
Thank
anything,
you, Mr. Dunbar. Very good. I just want you to give me a quick explanation on BAPS, what it means, because I just happened to see it and I print out something that was on it. I print, let me put my camera on. I don't know if you can see it. And I print out the sheet, and at the back, what it explaining of the emails and stuff. So can you give me a little?
well, BAPS was a 16-hour summit that we just did this past weekend. It was Ariel Simone, me, Sharon, Larry, Harold Branch, and then we had a guest trainer that came in for like 30 minutes, which was Darius Frencher. We trained on Thursday for 2 hours, Friday for 2 hours, Saturday for 6 hours, and Sunday for 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
And it was a business summit. Jim Hicks was on some of it. I know he wasn't on the full thing. He got listed recording because he had to jump off of some other priorities he had. But Jackie was on it, Jim was on it, and some other people. But it was Stephanie, who's still here right now. Stephanie was on it as well. So it was a good event, and it was really about automating your business. Putting yourself in a position where you know how to do more with your email, know how to use a CRM, know how to get on social media and create an Instagram account, all that kind of stuff. So we're still doing stuff with it. So if you're interested in it, just let me know. We have it recorded. So people can still buy it at this point. They can still buy into it, even though it's not live anymore. But most of the people that I just named, they were on it live. And we did a lot of live stuff. So it was like full out tutorials where we went to sites and set things up in front of everybody so that they knew how to do it. You know, the Instagram, I mean, the social media coach showed you how to create your profile, took you through the steps to create your profile for Instagram and how to use it and all of that kind of stuff. So
All right.
that's what it was. So if you want some more information on this, let me know. I'll see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
Yes, see you something on it. If you're interested in it, then you just pay the deal, and then it was 16 hours over the weekend, but we did 5 weeks of training before. So every week, every Wednesday, we did an hour training. I think we did more than an hour, but it's supposed to be an hour. But we ended up doing probably like an hour, 20 minutes, hour, 30 minutes of individual training. So we had 5 hours and then a 16-hour event. So it ended up being over 20 hours of training.
Wow.
So if you want it, then let me know, and then I'll just email you day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then the 5 weeks of training. And we have a community on Facebook that we're still putting stuff in. You can download stuff that's in there. We got the downloads in there and all kind of other stuff. So
okay, all right. I'll definitely be interested because like I said, I've been overwhelmed for the past few weeks. I'm like, especially if emails, I have like 2,000 something. I'm trying to delete. The more I delete, the more I'm getting. So I haven't reached to quite a few yet, but yeah.
And that was one of the things we did. I did batch deleting. I talked about, because I know somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody mentioned during the summit that they had gotten rid of 20,000 emails. They did the batch deleting, had gotten rid of 20,000 emails that they had in their system. I can't remember who it was who said that, but whoever it was, they used that batch deleting to do that. So we showed how to itemize emails, get rid of them, create multiple inboxes, organize the emails that's coming in so that they're not like overwhelming when you go into your inbox and all of that. So we covered all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything before we go?
Oh, I also heard someone mention about getting the listings of like real estate or companies from what agency? Is that the government agency or something like that, that you can get the listing of small businesses in your area and stuff?
No, she was using I think she was using either A to Z database, or what's the other one, Jim? It's A to Z database, and then there's another one. What's the other one?
You're talking about maybe about Reference USA?
Yeah, Reference USA. I think Allison mentioned Reference USA, but you got Reference USA and you got A to Z database. Both of those are databases that you can pull small businesses information.
Reference USA, and the other one is what?
It's A like the letter A, then TO2, then the letter Z database. A to Z database. That's another place.
The library.
Yeah, you need to go through the library, because if you go through the library, it's free.
Okay.
So do you have a library card?
Yes.
Okay, so you should be able to go check to see if your library has it. You can do it electronically. You don't have to go to the library. You can do it, go to the library's website and see if they have either one of those, and then log in, and then you can use theirs. That's why they have it. They pay for it, so you don't have to.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Dunbar. Great training as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else before we go?
Going to stay focused on one thing at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right?
There you go. There you go.
I'm biting more than I could chew.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, this was great.
Yeah, this was
So
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Anybody else, anything before we go?
I did, Mr. Harold Branch. It's like today and yesterday, everything was going wrong. And you know how we say to relax and take the deep breath? I had to do that today.
Did it work?
had to do that today. And
Me too. Oh,
Did it work?
everything was just,
a
yes,
little
it
bit.
worked. Yes, it worked. I just came home and I just relaxed. I just relaxed.
Go ahead.
And yeah, I came home and I just relaxed. It worked. It really worked. It really worked. And I was like, no. I was trying to find a street. I know where the street was. I couldn't find it. everything was just going wrong. And I was like, no, let me do this deep breathing. Let me do this deep breathing. So it was.
I was doing a recap on stuff because I'm setting up. I'm setting up for the June 4th event. Plus, we're in the process of putting all the information into the Kajabi for everybody who got the course to be able to go in there, right? So we can pull it off the Facebook page. And I was looking at all the information. I was like, man, like all of the stuff that was going over in that training, the techniques and stuff. If people apply that stuff, they'll like in this year, like choose some of that stuff and apply it. Their business will be in a totally different place. Even something as simple as like the box breathing that you're talking about, like to keep you from getting overwhelmed when you realize like, hey, okay, like I'm going crazy here. Let me stop for a second. Let me do some box breathing, get my thoughts together, and then that stuff really does work.
Mm-hmm.
It really does work. Those techniques really do work. So I think it was a lot of information that people, if they just pick and choose what they're gonna work on first, second, third, fourth, fifth, they will realize that it's enough information there that they can really change the trajectory of their business. Just by looking at those little tidbits of information that was given a little bit, even the 5 weeks before. There's just a lot of information given. The email information, the apps that Sharon brought to the table, the stuff, the stuff that Ariel did on posting ideas for Instagram and all of that kind of stuff. It's really, really some good stuff. Yeah.
And I just follow Fific Law. That's a law firm in Pennsylvania, and they just have a lot of things online on Zoom. And everything you guys taught us over the weekend, one of the guys was saying, he said, you got to make your business easier. He talked about Canva, he talked about Pixel, he talked about CRM. He said it's only like 38% of people use CRM. And every single thing you guys teach us, this is what I was like, damn, everything. We don't have to go out, there's stuff free also too. But he said you got to do it. He talked about social media. He said social media is not just for the young people, it's a billion business on social media. You do that. And he talked about everything. All the apps, every one of the apps. You guys taught us over the weekend. He said the same thing. I was like, wow. Say make your life easy.
Yeah, automation. Make your life easier. Make sure you don't forget to register for the June 4th, the business automation mastery, which I'm going to go over stuff that I didn't get a chance to touch on in the conference because it was just so much going on. Like I did not get to everything on my list. Nobody did. Nobody got everything on their list, and that's what
Did you do the website already for June 4th, or you sent it out?
Yeah, I'm setting it up now. I'm setting up the link. I already had the link. The link I put out there on Sunday. So the registration link was already done. That was already ready. But right now I'm doing the landing page and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Send it out on Sunday? Okay, I gotta look for it.
I gotta look for it.
No, I didn't send it out in an email on Sunday.
Oh,
on Sunday at the end of the conference, I put the link for that in the chat.
Chat now, okay.
I put it in the chat during the conference. I put in the chat how to register for June 4th. I put the link in there, but I haven't sent anything out. I haven't sent a general email out yet because I'm doing the landing page right now.
Okay.
So once I create the landing page, then I'll send an email out
Okay.
for the June 4th event. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I got the marketing girl making me a t-shirt for that event.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All
So we
righty.
can buy the t-shirts?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, people can. I'm actually getting t-shirts made for BAPS too, because people were asking me about the shirts that we wore. So I am going to have BAPS t-shirts that people can buy that were a part of it, because it's going to be a thing. We're going to be doing that twice a year. We're going to be doing the BAPS summit twice a year. And we're going to obviously have different information, like, social media. She'll do LinkedIn. She'll do, Facebook. She'll be changing the information. Not always going to be the same information, obviously. But we're going to do 2 summits a year. And it's going to always be BAPS. It's going to be, BAPS Business Pilot Summit. But it's just going to have different information in there from different people. And sometimes it's going to be different people. It's not always going to be us 4. You know what I mean? It's not always going to be us four. Sometimes I'm going to bring other people in that train on different things because obviously we don't know everything to train. So there's other things that people need that I'm going to be pulling specialists in and saying, hey, this person's going to talk about this, that, and the other. So there will be another one before the end of the year. But this one, I think, was a great opening. It was a great start. We all had a good time.
Oh, yeah.
The testimonials on the last day were just way more than I ever thought would have happened. I would have never imagined that 15 people at the end would have given testimonials and half of them cried. I would have never thought that. You know what I mean? On a business event.
Yeah.
But that's when it happened because, and I think that was the part that Harold Branch brought, the emotional, you know, therapeutic part of it that we don't see in business summits. So
mental health, the mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did a lot in that space. So it was good. It was really good. So we having some meetings to figure out some things we can do to make it better. Some more trainers we can bring in. We want to get Lynette in. She was just so busy she couldn't get in, but we want to bring in like Lynette and people who want to be able to give you a full-fledged understanding of right deductions you should be taking. So you have an idea with your small business, what kind of deductions you should be taking, you know, different tax things and all that kind of stuff. Because as a business professional, you should know those things. Even though you have an account doing them, you should understand them for your business. It's like my son. My son is opening up a cafe in the yoga studio. And he knows so much about accounting because his mom is a master accountant and she's his accountant. So she has these conversations with him. She don't just do his books. She talks to him about them. So he understands his taxes. He understands how to tax shelter money. And then I do all of his business stuff for him. But I talked to him about it. So he's got 3 companies for him. I helped him form them, but I told him why he was forming them. He has all that information, even though we do it for him. He understands it, and he went to school for 2 years and got a business degree. So he understands from that aspect as well. So it's you have to understand that stuff, even though somebody else is doing it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Be
absolutely.
able to explain it, absolutely. Okay, thank you, Mr. Dunbar. Great training tonight.
You drinking tea? You drinking
always
tea?
go above and beyond.
Coffee?
I'm drinking a mix of caramel macchiato coffee with dark Colombian blend, and then I have honey in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sound good.
Yeah. I do hybrid coffee. Yeah. I have several kinds of coffee, and then I mix them and put them in a coffee maker, and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and then, and I got different Florida honeys that I use.
Don't wonder why you don't sleep.
See, but that's that good authentic caffeine. Now, if you're not taking advantage of coffee, unless you got a medical condition, if you're not taking advantage of caffeine, we need to have a conversation. Caffeine is the wonder drug.
It's good for you.
Caffeine is the wonder drug.
I mean, I've been in Philly for like 2 weeks, so I'm free.
There you go. All right, guys. So we're gonna chime off, but
Thank you.
prepare.
Always go
next.
above and beyond, Mr. Dunbar. We appreciate that.
Oh, you got it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are
We
something else.
appreciate it. You
Yeah.
stay up from your trip
Some
and
trainers
come.
will be 9 o'clock. I'm out. That's it.
right, take care.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Okay.
You'll be rewarded
Bye.
for that, though. You'll be greatly rewarded.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, good night, family. Let's just let Mr. Dunbar go get his rest.
He ain't going to bed.
I am not.
He ain't going to bed.
Look, I'm looking at my other computer with 10 windows open right now. I'm going to bed, ain't even close to happening.
Good night.
I knew it.
Thanks.
I still haven't even gone to the gym yet. You talking about
Oh,
big?
my
I haven't even
goodness.
worked out yet.
Wait a minute,
I was
Robert.
thinking of going myself, Mr. Dunbar, but I changed my mind. I'm staying home.
You want that will go to the gym at 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah, I go. Yeah, I either like if I don't get to LA Fitness by 9 o'clock because they close the one here closes at 10. So if I can get there by 9.
Oh,
I
my
get the house.
goodness.
Like tonight I can't, but I have a gym downstairs. So
Okay.
I'll go downstairs and work out downstairs, or I'll go downtown and I'll walk about 3.5 miles, which takes me about 45, 50 minutes.
Okay.
I'll do that walk and get that good walk in, and that's therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
A walk, I'm out, it's nighttime, so it's not a bunch of it's a few other
Yeah.
people here, and normally it's couples. Normally it's two people holding hands or whatever. It's not nobody exercising. And I go there, walk downtown. It feels, it's Florida, so it feels good outside, not hot, sun not beaming on you.
Yeah.
And then good 45 minutes, 50 minutes of walking. That's good exercise. And then I'll come back home, take my shower, and keep on working. That wakes me up. Between the workout and the shower, I'm back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my gym closed at 11, so I still have time. I can go there for an hour, but change my mind.
Tapped out.
Don't change your mind back. Just change it back. That's all you gotta do is change it back. Change it back and go. Just tell yourself, say, I'm only gonna go for 20 minutes and I'm just gonna get on the treadmill. Just tell yourself that. And then when you get there and start working out, you're gonna work out.
I know. That's
sometimes
my biggest
brain.
challenge, Mr. Dunbar, is to go there. But once I get there, I don't want to come out.
There you go. All you gotta do is trick yourself. That's what I do. I'll tell myself, okay, I ain't working out today. I don't feel like it. I'm just gonna go get on the treadmill for 30 minutes and then I'm gonna come home. That never happens. I get on that treadmill.
Never. That can never happen.
Now you moving a group and your body like to work out, you go ahead and work out. So just lie to yourself and go to the gym. That's all.
All right. Good night, y'all.
All right.
Thanks for
Good to see
being
y'all,
you.
guys. Good night.
Thanks for being you. Thank you.
Oh, you got it. Hey, Cynthia, how are you?
We doing good. We're doing good.
Good. Yeah,
Yes.
good.
Double ask her.
I want to see you, but I don't see you. I just hear you. So good to hear you.
So, Robert, I don't get the link to get on this right here anymore.
No, yeah, you should be getting. I know. Well, I didn't send the email out today because I was coming back home late from picking up my son to do something. But today, this was the only day though. Normally, every Tuesday at about 7:15 Eastern time, I normally send out an email. So if you're not getting that email weekly on Tuesdays, then I'll check my system and see what's happening or whether it's going, because it could be like something could be off with the email, it could be a letter missing, it could be anything. So I'll look and see because I can see who gets the email.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down though.
I get
can
mine.
have it.
But it should be a weekly email going out. I normally do it within the hour of me doing it, sometime between 7 and 8. And for me, obviously it's Eastern time, but whatever time zone. Between 7 and 8 o'clock, an email should be hitting your box, and it should have whatever episode we're on. It should say Lead Generation episode 15 or 16 or whatever.
17,
Yeah. So you should be getting that every Tuesday.
All righty.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I'll see you guys all somewhere the next couple of days on something. I'm sure I'm on something that y'all on. So and don't forget that the other training is going to be June 4th, and it's 4 hours from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. But again, that's going to go out in the email with all of the information and all
my
that.
birthday.
The name of it is going to be Business Automation Mastery Course.
Okay.
That's the name of it. So when you see that, you'll know that's what it is. It'll be a link, June 4th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 hours. And it's going to be me going over the Google Apps, me going over Assign a Task Manager, me going over Acuity scheduling. So those are the things I'm going to be going over. I may have a guest trainer, not sure. I might have somebody jump in and do something, but I'm not sure. Sounds good?
All
Sounds
right.
good. Thank you.
Good night.
All right, you got it.
Night, night.
Everybody have a good evening.